What don't we know at this point? Because as far as I can remember, the NCAA last summer said, okay, you are good to do this. Also, we're not doing anything with it. We're not legislating things.
Yep.
We are not overseeing it. And so there is this element, and the term Wild Wild West is used a lot, but like there was an article today, I think it was David Ubben at The Athletic, talking about like the Tennessee Fan Collective putting together 15, 20, $25 million per recruiting class and putting it towards, getting star players paid because of their contributions to winning and productivity, whatever on the field. So what is there oversight? What is the oversight? What do contracts look like? Who is looking at contracts? Is that person who is looking at Hendon Hooker's contract from a car dealership somebody who has the best interest of the car dealership, has the best interest of this like third party, like open endorse, and we're going to help you like find endorsements and everything like that? Is it an agent who's like, hey, Hendon Hooker, I'm looking out for you. This looks out for me. This is our deal. Like, what is yet to be written in terms of all of these new business relationships with not amateurs in terms of amateur student athlete, but amateurs of the business world?
Yeah, this is the biggest question, and it's something I have a big Trello board here, and like on my computer, and there's like 8 different stories, kind of in process of reporting, looking through this, because this is the big question that I have.
Yeah,
and I feel very confident that we're going to see some stories, first in these first couple of months this year about athletes getting some unpleasant surprises from the IRS, particularly for the athletes that took big expensive cars and not cash, and not realizing that those are taxable assets, and suddenly they owe the IRS $9,000 because of that truck that they then gave back because they transferred or did something else. That's an issue, because I can tell you those first couple of months when NIL deals were first happening, July, August, September, nobody really knew what they were doing. And by nobody, I mean not just the athletes, the compliance officers, and a lot of the brands. A lot of the companies that have been really heavily involved in this world have never done influencer marketing before. So they don't really know how to evaluate the success of an Instagram campaign. They don't know how to price it. They don't know what kind of contracts they have to offer. They just know, I want to help Old State U, and which is fine. And on one hand, I look at that and think there's reason to be excited or optimistic, because as those local businesses learn more, that will mean more opportunities for all football and all women's volleyball and soccer players and people that could benefit. But there's going to be hiccups. I have a lot of questions about these collectives. I have questions about how the collectives themselves make money, because some of them are pitching themselves as completely nonprofit entities, which we'll see if the IRS agrees. Stay tuned on Extra Points for that.
Because I saw
Heath
Schuler Heath Schuler's a consultant for the tenant. Like, also they have a
former congressman, Heath Schuler,
right?
Yeah. So for
one,
agents, what they typically do, right? They take 5, 10, 15% of these kind of deals. And what I've talked to from a lot of other agents working independently is, I don't really want to be involved in the college athlete NIL space, because 10% of a $250 deal is nothing. And I have to do an enormous amount of scale to do it. And I can't require the athlete that's signing with me at 19 to still sign with me once they turn pro. And that's been kind of the issue with the sneaker universe, right? With basketball players. So if a lot of those other agents aren't getting involved, I didn't realize this until this year, basically. For college, you can just declare yourself an agent. Like, I've talked to a lot of people that were representing an athlete I was thinking of doing a deal with, only to learn they were an undergrad and like they're representing their dorm mate. And like they're 20, they haven't even finished Vermont yet. So like, okay, that changes the way that you and I work together. So I would have some concerns, and I would have some concerns. And this is not a criticism of Dave's story or any of these other stories, but if we're writing about the NIL space, and the only people we're talking to are people who run collectives that are like, nope, my collective's giving out $100 bajillion. And then we talk to somebody whose industry benefits from people using these collectives, like, yep, I'm the CEO of Big NIL, and I looked at the numbers, and NIL is getting real big. And then we publish that without maybe digging into, can we confirm any of those numbers? Are that deal that's being offered to the athlete actually happening? How these people are making money? Like, I got lots of follow-up questions. And it reminds me a little bit of like crypto, or maybe some other basic financial instruments where maybe the cart's gotten out ahead of the horse a little bit. And we're not exactly sure what's going to happen in a year or two in terms of regulations or actually executing on the things that we say that we're going to do. You know what I mean?